All right, we're here to work on book 3 a little bit tonight, and I want to show you a helpful link. So, if you would go to www.poetryintranslation.com, you can go to ancient Greek here. Whoa. And then see various authors. And if we go down, Homer, the Odyssey, Wanderings of Odysseus. So we can browse this. And then you have a layout book by book. So we're about to start book 3 tonight. And what it does right here is it lays out the entire book with some headings, which are really helpful in terms of just getting the general sense of what the book is about, a nice summary there. And then it goes through and it gives you a detailed summary of what is happening. What I really like is if you click on one of these names in blue, it will take you to a glossary of names and you will see what it is and all the different times it's mentioned in the Odyssey. And you can go through and learn a lot about the different people. Neleus, you can find out about him, and so on. So as you're reading, too, I think, let's see, somewhere there was just a list of names. When you're reading, if you are wondering who's who, I would definitely recommend kind of having this open as well. So, on to our journey here. First thing I want you to do is notice how many of the books start with a sunrise. And so books 2 and 3 already are starting with sunrises. And so the main thing that you need to know that's going on is good old Telemachus is heading to see Nestor for advice. Okay. So the sun rose on the flawless brimming sea into a sky all brazen, all one brightening, for gods immortal and mortal men on ploughlands kind with grain. And facing sunrise, the voyagers now lay off Pylos town, compact stronghold of Neleus. So, item to note, Pylos is where Neleus lives. And this is Telemachus' stop. On the shore, black bulls were being offered by the people to the blue-maned god who makes the islands tremble. 9 congregations, each 500 strong, let out 9 bulls apiece to sacrifice, taking the tripes to eat, while on their altars thigh bones in fat lay burning for the god. Okay, couple things. The blue-maned god is Poseidon. And what's ironic is he is the one who is delaying Odysseus's return. I'm just going to put P is delaying O's return. And here we are, smack dab in the middle of a sacrifice to him. A little side note, tripe is the intestines of a cow. I've actually had it. It's not bad. Yeah, enough said on that. Here they put in, furled sail, and beached the ship, but Telemachus hung back in disembarking, so that Athena turned and said, "Not the least shyness now, Telemachus. You came across the open sea for this, to find out where the great earth hides your father, and what the doom was that he came upon. Go to old Nestor, master charioteer, so we may broach the storehouse of his mind. Ask him with courtesy, and in his wisdom he will tell you history and no lies." But clear-headed Telemachus replied, "Mentor, how can I do it? How approach him? I have no practice in elaborate speeches, and for a young man to interrogate an old man seems disrespectful." So another thing about Telemachus, he seems to have nice manners. That or he's just terribly shy and tongue-tied. But the gray-eyed goddess said, Reason and heart will give you words, Telemachus, and a spirit will counsel others. I should say the gods were ever indifferent to your life. She went on quickly, and he followed her to where the men of Pylos had their altars. Nestor appeared enthroned among his sons, while friends around them skewered the red beef or held it scorching. When they saw the strangers, a hail went up, and all that crowd came forward, calling out invitations to the feast. Pisistratus in the lead, the young prince caught up their hands in his and gave them places on curly lambskins flat on the sea sand near Thrasymedes, his brother and his father. He passed them bits of the food of sacrifice, and, pouring wine in a golden cup, he said to Pallas Athena, daughter of Zeus, "Friend, I must ask you to invoke Poseidon. You find us at this feast kept in his honor. Make the appointed offering then, and pray, and give the honeyed wine cup to your friend, so he may do the same. He too must pray to the gods, on whom all men depend. But he is just my age. You are the senior. So here I give the goblet first to you." So another little point here is they're eating first and asking questions later, and offering respect to their gods. Eat first, ask questions later. And he put the cup of sweet wine in her hand. Athena liked his manners and the equity that gave her precedence with the cup of gold. So she besought Poseidon at some length. "Earthshaker, listen and be well disposed. Grant your petitioners everything they ask. Above all, honor Nestor and his sons, second to every man of Pylos town. A fair gift in exchange for this hecatomb." That's a public sacrifice of 100 oxen. "Third, may Telemachus and I perform the errand on which last night we put to sea." This was the prayer of Athena, granted in every particular by herself. She passed the beautiful wine cup to Telemachus, who tipped the wine and prayed as she had done. Meanwhile, the spits were taken off the fire, portions of crisp meat for all. They feasted, and when they had eaten and drunk their fill, at last they heard from Nestor, prince of charioteers. "Now is the time," he said, "for a few questions. Now that our young guests have enjoyed their dinner, who are you, strangers? Where are you sailing from? And where to? Down the highways of sea water. Have you some business here, or are you now reckless wanderers of the sea, like those corsairs who risk their lives to prey on other men?" Corsairs is a fancy word for pirates. Clear-headed Telemachus responded cheerfully, for Athena gave him heart. By her design, his quest for news about his father's wandering would bring him fame in the world's eyes. So he said, "Nestor, pride of Achaeans, Neleus' son, you ask where we are from, and I can tell you our home port is under Mount Neon, Ithaca. We are not here on Ithacan business, though, but on my own. I want news of my father Odysseus, known for his great heart, and I will comb the wide world for it. People say he fought along with you when Troy was taken. As to the other men who fought that war, we know where each one died and how he died, but Zeus allotted my father death and mystery." So here is Telemachus asking Nestor just if he knows anything about Odysseus. And he goes on. "No one can say for sure where he was killed, whether some hostile landsman or the sea. The storm waves on the deep sea got the best of him, and this is why I come to you for help. Tell me of his death, sir, if perhaps you witnessed it, or have heard some wanderer tell the tale. The man was born for trouble. Spare me no part of it for kindness' sake, but put the scene before me as you saw it. If ever Odysseus, my noble father, served you by promise kept or work accomplished in the land of Troy, where you Achaeans suffered, recall those things for me the way they were." Then Nestor, prince of charioteers, made answer, "Dear friend, you take me back to all the trouble we went through in that country, we Achaeans. Rough days aboard ship on the cloudy sea, cruising away for pillage after Achilles. Rough days of battle around Priam's town." So he's going to talk about Troy now.